So here is the Dolton Firefighters. Okay? Dolton Firefighters. Standing. And I'm going to tell you exactly what day is on. This is my video. I did 7 months ago. 7 months ago. I have a whole playlist of this heifer reporting on her. But 7 months ago, the Dolton Firefighters came to a town hall meeting or board meeting, whatever it was, and expressed their concerns about a situation regarding their insurance. So I was checking out Hannibal's video because it had the best clarity and volume. So I just want you all to see, what's going on, how it compares now, and how it seemed to be just a repeat or some sort of pattern of behavior here. But check this out.
Current situation going on within the fire department. After endorsing Mayor Henyard in 2021, she proceeded to replace our full-time deputy chief with a part-time deputy chief who contributed to her campaign fund. This is where the problems began. Local 3766 filed and won the grievance on a clear violation of our contract. What followed was a dysfunctional negotiation process, which leads us to inform the residents that we've been serving the village without a contract for 5 years. Currently, the village still refuses to negotiate.
That's me reacting.
Making progress extremely difficult and if not impossible. The second issue is our 457 accounts, which have been in litigation since 2022. This account is set up for individuals to invest their own money into a retirement fund. The money is withdrawn from the members' paychecks and is supposed to be sent to nationwide. The village does not follow these steps and has no accountability of where the money is or if they've spent it. Once this was discovered, the administration was informed via email by the previous union president that these missing deposits can be considered theft of wages.
Yep.
They reacted by placing him on an administrative leave for inappropriate emails. To this date, we are still 9 to 10 deposits.
They put him on administrative leave. This is how she handled the fire department. Retaliating against them. Because they didn't want to endorse her any longer. That's not the trustee's fault. That's all her fault. When they asked for her response, she didn't give a response. That's not the trustee's fault. That's her fault. Throwing out whataboutisms, trying to throw her a bone, is a cowardly way of trying to avoid and deflect away from accountability. It's deflection at this point. And it's pathetic. Unless Super Stupid is bribing you or paying your bills, something to that extent, and you're barely reading an ordinance yourself, or a ILCS code or a court order, why are you trying to even throw a bone and talk about whataboutisms? Well, what about this? What about the sky? What about the trees? What about that butterfly? Shut up. Shut up. You're not helping to the conversation. You're not adding anything meaningful. It is Super Stupid's responsibility to staff her administration. And for positions that require board's approval, I'm sure they will be happy to give 2/3 of a vote and approve a financial administrator or a director of finance that should be there in those positions. No, she chooses not to staff those individuals. What's happening with the money, though, that's been budgeted for those salaries? Because you got to set up a budget for salaries, in case you all didn't know. For those who claim to know so much and want to sit here and talk about, well, it's not all Tiffany's fault. In this situation, it is. There are several situations where it's all Tiffany's fault. But because you're too much of a coward to just say that and explain how it's all her fault, let me help you out. When it comes down to the financial administrator or the director of finance, there are certain key positions that the mayor can hire. If it requires a vote or an approval from the board, it must be 2/3 voter approval. Now, they can simply ask for the credentials and a background check to be done on any employee. They can pass some sort of legislation where every employee that's here, especially if they're in these high-paying roles like a director of finance, something to that extent. We want background checks on those people. You want to hire a code inspector and all this? Yeah, we want background checks. You want a police chief, fire chief? Yeah, first of all, you can vote on the police chief, the fire chief. Yeah, you need the board approval on that. There are positions listed in the municipal code. So she doesn't just get to select anyone she wants. And honestly, it's almost a reflection of people not knowing that when it comes to our government system, it's 3 separate but co-equal branches of power. And not knowing the boundaries or the lines you don't cross, and why we have a checks and balances in place. We have a checks and balance in place when it comes to those 3 separate but co-equal branches of power. So the executive branch that she represents as the mayor does not get to veto and override the legislative branch, which is the board of trustees. She has staff administrators that work for her. Some positions require the board's approval. But if the board wants to have a meeting, pass a bill for certain requirements to be fulfilled on all the positions, they can do that with a majority vote. That's how you have a checks and balance. The law does give leeway for them to say, you might not need our approval to hire this person, but we can mandate a background check for this person. And that background check needs to be done by this certain vendor within a certain time frame. And if that background check isn't done, then you can't hire this person. That's how you have a checks and balance system established. Even for the situations where they don't need the board's approval, but the board passes something to say background checks must be done on all and within a certain time frame. And we're looking back at 5 years or whatever we're looking at, whatever the stipulations are with that, they can require that. And if you don't fulfill that requirement, that in and of itself can keep someone from being hired, because that legislative board has already said, here's a bill, we passed it, requiring these background checks. She would have to abide by that. She doesn't get to override it. She does not have control over the legislative board. They are co-equal in power. And when you got to go to a court and a judge has to tell you, okay, you can't hire in a new police chief or village administrator without the board's approval. All they're doing is reinforcing the law. That's what the law states. So no, she has never had autonomy or sole power to do a damn thing, because that is not how our government system works. Whether it's the federal level, state level, or local level, you have 3 separate but co-equal branches of power. Her being the executive is just 1/3 of government. The board of trustees representing the legislative is the other 1/3, and the judicial branch, being the courts, something she will definitely never override, is that other 1/3. They are to work in tandem and to help balance each other when one gets out of place, or when the executive loses her damn mind and she's somewhere stuck in la la land. The other 2 branches are supposed to flow, and there are contingencies that are supposed to be activated to bring that executive power back into place and balance. Her losing her mind like this, all it's going to do is just add on another contempt charge with the court, and they need to remand her and lock her ass up. So now you've had this situation with the fire department and having money coming out of their check that's supposed to be going towards premiums for insurances. But because they've gone 1,000 years so far with super stupid in place, without some sort of financial administrator or director of finance of some sort, a fully staffed financial department, things are getting lost in the melee. Emails aren't getting addressed because there's no one in that position to fully answer and respond to it. And then you're putting the burden on the other people that are there, expecting them to do everything. There's a reason why there's a budget for the appointment of a financial administrator. That was actually budgeted for someone to be hired in that role. And she's not filled that position. And now she wants to sit here and take it out on a union leader for Dolton Firefighters because they didn't endorse her when no one owes you that in the first place, super stupid. And it doesn't help when these weird ass apologists running around here trying to put some blame and deflection on the board when it's not solely the board's responsibility. And when she is being challenged to bring forth some sort of response or comment, she cowered away and doesn't do it. When she has the opportunity to explain things, she's a damn coward and she says nothing. So why the hell are you trying to offer some explanation on her behalf with your dumb whataboutisms? I'm fed up with it, to be honest with you. If you can't tell, I'm fed up with it. It's enough. I think it's just being a coward at this point. And an ass kisser if you think that just deflecting and just saying, oh, well, it's everybody's fault. No, it's her fault when it's her fault. It's the board's fault when it's their fault. And I don't think the two should be blending at this point. Because obviously no one knows how to separate them. Ridiculous.
This shows lack of accountability and is an act of gross negligence.
Gross.
The third issue, health insurance. Health insurance is covered under the collective bargaining agreement, Article 14. The members of the fire department have run into several problems with our premiums not being met.
Look at this.
This has led members and families' claims being denied, but also being sent to collections. This has been brought up to the village numerous times. All requests to date have been ignored. A grievance was filed and escalated to step 4. The fourth issue is our union dues. Per our collective bargaining agreement, Article 3, dues checks, the village is responsible for contributing union dues. We were missing 11 checks since 2023.
Oh my God.
$12,610. We received 3 unspecified checks. This can also be looked at as theft of wages.
Yeah.
Yes, it
response to
can.
step 3
What the heck is Jesus? Did not tell.
So that's my reaction video. Because I want you all to see this pattern of behavior of super stupid. It's just a pattern of behavior. So you all heard from the union leader of the Dolton Firefighters and how they handled money coming out of their check but not going towards insurance premiums. So, okay, let's get to the current update news.
Insurance proposal or your insurance programs do in fact renew March 1st. So what you have again before you are the details of your medical insurance. So your medical program with Blue Cross and Blue Shield will be increasing almost 12%, 11.9%. Right, you'll see what that annual increase is, a little over $200,000 for your medical insurance. It initially though came in at 19.7, but we were able to negotiate that down to 11.
Very good.
0.9, so
You
a
can
little shy of
negotiate those
12%.
things, by the way.
Your program with Lincoln Financial, your dental, that did come in with a 3% increase for the upcoming plan year. That equates to a little $3,800 for the year. Okay, then your vision program with IMED, there was actually no change to what you're currently paying today. That program is currently in a rate lock, meaning that the increase,
good.
there is actually no increase. The
They need to
premiums
rate
will
lock the other
remain
two.
flat. However, your life insurance is actually, we've got to do some work on that. That program was actually terminated and canceled by Blue Cross and Blue Shield due to non-payment of premium. So what we're going to be doing is we actually
Non-payment
have
of
some
premium.
proposals for other carriers that I'll be working with Keith and Janice to get that program
Jesus
reinstated
Christ.
with a different vendor or carrier. Questions? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when was anybody made aware that it had canceled?
Well, the program terminated back in August of 24. Yeah. So there were, again, folks, there were several communications that were submitted to the administration, your administrators.
The administration.
Premiums just weren't paid. So
The administration being super stupid administration. These are the board of trustees. They're elected officials. They represent your legislative branch. All right. That's like the state legislators walking to HR, expecting to be told everything of what's going on in HR or in the finance department at the state capitol. They're the legislators. They're not a part of the administration. They don't work in the departments that are supposed to be staffed by the current governor and his team that is responsible for hiring and firing some of these positions directly. Do you go and blame the governor when something's not paid, or do you go and blame all the state legislators there because the finance administrators did not pay a bill? Think about it, because most people aren't thinking at all. They're just saying, oh, well, that's part of the board's fault. How? What in their duties somehow permits this to be their fault when it's the administrator's fault? The administrator being the people that work under super stupid. Each mayor brings in their own staff of people in certain key roles, like the finance administrator, the village administrator, the chief of police when they want to bring in someone they want. But some of those positions must require the board's approval by a 2/3 vote. Or the board can put down stipulations on requirements that must be met before she hires someone, even if they do not require the board's approval. See, this is where reading those municipal codes come into play. I'm not even going to pull it up. It's just too lengthy. I'm not going to do all the work for you. So you're going to have to look at the municipal codes to read about her duties and her role when it comes to appointments, when it comes to hiring and firing, the differences between the administration and those duties versus the trustee board and what they represent. They're elected. She can't fire them, or else she would have tried to do it. That's why they're still there. Their positions are standalone and elected because they represent a separate branch of government. We have in the United States of America what's called a checks and balance with our government. That's why there are three separate but co-equal branches of power. Super stupid's position, the executive, is only 1/3 government. She does not have sole power or autonomy to appoint anyone without the board's approval. That's never been in the municipal codes, and it's certainly been upheld and reinforced through a court order. A court order. So when it comes to hiring a financial administrator, they haven't had one for months. You know why? Because that's mentioned in Lori Lightfoot's report. There was a budget set aside for that salary for someone to come in and be hired as the financial administrator. That position has been vacant for months. That is not the fault of the Board of Trustees representing the legislative branch. That is the fault of the mayor. And there's a big ass difference with that people just need to read. It's in the municipal codes. That is not solely the board's of trustees' duty to hire a financial administrator. If she needs their approval to do it, I'm sure they will be more than willing to approve someone that is suitable for the job and that fulfills and meets the requirements of it, that can pass a background check, that they don't have to worry about coming in from one place stealing and then they're coming into this position still stealing. Have you ever been in jail for theft? Do you have the credentials, the education, and experience to work in this role? They have the right to ask those questions. And if they have to give an approval on it, they would have done it. She just got to go out and get her hiring department to get on board with finding someone. It's not the board's responsibility to find someone to hire. That's her administrative duties to do. Her team, her HR department. So while people keep offering these dumbass whataboutisms, trying to throw her a bone, what about justice? Okay, while you want to talk about justice, what about her violating a court order? How is that not an injustice? What about her being in direct criminal contempt of court? How is that not an injustice? No one's forcing her to do that. The board had nothing to do with her being held in direct criminal contempt. That's all her damn fault. And if you want to keep deflecting and throwing out these whataboutisms, you're a coward. You're a coward, and you're sitting here trying to aid in her not taking accountability. It's cowardice of you. And disgusting and deplorable. I mean, my God, if you're going to lose your mind, at least go wherever her mind is, because it's certainly not here in this reality. You're not here on this planet or in this reality with us. So just go wherever she is. I would just appreciate that. If you don't like the fact that we have a 3 separate but co-equal branch of government system in the United States of America, then you might want to go where a dictatorship is. It seems like it fits right up you all's alley. May I suggest Russia, where they certainly hate our guts. As Americans and as black people. No, they don't like black people. They don't. Yeah, good luck to that. Just leave the entire continent of North America and go to Russia. Because if you're sitting here saying that Super Stupid has sole power to do something, you're trying to insinuate that she is a dictator. This is why she thinks as stupidly as she does. Because you have stupid things being said, giving her encouragement to think stupidly. Unbelievable. She does not have sole power. She never did. She's only 1/3 of representation of our government. That's it. As the executive, she's just 1/3 of it. It doesn't help. It raises these questions. What the hell is she doing for you? What is she paying your bills? Because I just refuse to stoop that low mentally to try to give someone the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying there aren't times where the trustees should not have some sort of blame or share fault in something. But be specific about it. Don't keep lumping them into every little thing that goes on. Oh, people always want to blame Tiffany. Yes, when you need to blame her, blame her. When she's sitting here retaliating against a union leader for not endorsing her, that's nothing to do with the trustees. She's the one retaliating because she's not being endorsed. What the hell does that have to do with the board of trustees in that situation? So now the firefighters got to suffer because the union leader doesn't want to endorse her anymore. He doesn't have to. It's his choice. What are the apologists going to say about that? What kind of whataboutism are you going to throw out on that now? How is it the board's fault when Super Stupid decides to retaliate because the union leader for the firefighters aren't endorsing her individually anymore? What the hell does it have to do with the board of trustees? Come on with your dumbass reasons. Let's hear it. Put it in the comments section. Give me something to read and laugh at and mock for my next video, because it will be. Next time I'm going to call names. And I'm tagging the FBI in this video as I did the other one because they need to investigate this. You're retaliating against a union leader. First of all, don't fight the union. You're not smart enough to do it, Super Stupid. You're not that smart. You can barely read. So don't sit here and try to retaliate against a union leader. That's a whole fight you're not ready for. And your goons and minions will not be able to give any level of excuse or talk about whataboutisms when it comes to fighting the union. That's not a fight that even politicians want to take on. Child, please. Unions were established and beat the mafia. The mob. They took on the mob and won. Now mafias are called RICO, but it's the same thing. But union leaders took on the mafia head on and won because they still exist. And they're still just as powerful. People underestimate them. This is why I said that the Dolton firefighters should have filed a federal lawsuit, because their federal lawsuit would cover so much, and it would go to federal court, and just the public interest in that. I mean, her dogging out her own firefighters who go in to save people's lives. It would make her look like a jackass if she tried to sit here and treat them like crap. It would make her look like a jackass. And yet she hasn't responded. And here we have now life insurance premiums not being paid because she still does not have a financial administrator that she is responsible for trying to go out and hire and recruit. If the board has to approve that person, if they meet the qualifications, they will do it because you need it. But this is a situation where it falls solely on her because the municipal codes back that up. She has to do the hiring. She has an HR department. For fuck's sake.
Don't have exact dates of the communications, but there were several communications that were sent to the village of Dolton about that. And as a result of
and that being
the
her
policy being
administrator
terminated, Blue Cross and Blue Shield will no longer reinstate. So we'll have to find a new vendor. And we've got some proposals that we can take a look at. So I'll be working with.
So that's pretty much the part I wanted to play in this. Not only did they not get insurance renewed, they can't get it renewed. They will not renew their policy with them. Now, she said that it was termed around August of 2024. The judge signed the injunction in September of 2024. And then October, I think, is the permanent order that was in place to keep Super Stupid from feeling like she's a dictator and thinking that she can just make appointments or just fire people without the board's approval, in accordance with applicable laws. That is what the order says, which means that the court is designed to simply interpret and enforce and uphold the law. That's it. They don't create and write laws. They enforce and interpret and uphold laws. And if you read the order, you will see case law cited. Case law sets precedents on how those same laws were upheld and interpreted and enforced in other cases. Other cases that other judges have already adjudicated and given a ruling on, that is case law. So, for anyone to sit here and to say that this is the board's fault and da-da-da-da-da, nope, it's not. Read the case law and you will not see any board member be faulted or blamed by another judge in the same situation because you got some dingus that became mayor and thought she was a dictator with a bunch of goons that seems to be reinforcing this all the time by throwing about whataboutisms and deflecting from her taking sole responsibility and accountability for her dumb shit actions. So if you want to sit here and bring the board in to say it's their fault, now you're going to have to say how. I want case law on it. Pull up case law to show how it's part of the board's fault. Let's go all the way there if we're going to go there. Let's just see how far your intelligence reaches. Because some people just saying this just to say it. And they don't have any legal backing to support that nonsense. What kind of incentive are you getting by trying to deflect accountability away from this girl? Oh, these problems already existed in place. If they did, fine, show it. But let's not neglect the fact that she came in and aggravated it and made it worse. Because there's plenty of evidence to show that. Whole reports from Lori Lightfoot, documentations from what's been reported in the news. I mean, it's only so much we can get because she is the one keeping things under wrap. Super Stupid doesn't want information to get out. She doesn't want financials and budget reports to be shared. She sent emails saying, don't share this stuff. Don't send it out. That's evidence on that. There's emails to prove it. And these goons are overlooking and ignoring it. And it's disgusting and egregious that you failed to read a book or an email or a report or municipal codes or ILCS codes or case law or a court order or an injunction. All this lack of reading is giving you this. I want to try to give some of these YouTubers doing this nonsense the benefit of the doubt, but it's so repetitive that it's becoming more and more difficult, and it's aggravating that there is simple, clear evidence out here and information out here that could be available at your fingertips. You can Google anything else, Google that stuff. And you're not doing it. And you're sitting here trying to shift blame all around. Nope. Don't shift blame where it doesn't belong. No one held a gun to her head and told her to violate a court order. That is Super Stupid's fault by herself. She shares that blame with no one but the devil. I don't know if you can blame the devil for that. Nope, it's all her fault. She knew that there was an injunction in place where she had to get the board's approval to hire a new police chief. But she violated that court order while she already has a direct criminal contempt charge on her. So, Judge Mohan, please have her remanded to Cook County Court Detention Center when she comes back to court, because she keeps violating court orders. And now you have this issue where there's no life insurance. The same thing that the Dolton Firefighters went through. They had health insurance. They had claims that weren't being processed. They had to pay for things out of their pocket where insurance money should have taken care of. Because she did not ensure that it was being handled and taken care of by her administration. Not the board. Her administration. Two different things. Her administration should have been handling that. She should have a finance department to help handle those issues and situations. A financial administrator to get these emails. And they already know that they don't have one because Lori Lightfoot said it in her report. Still, there has not been one hired. But she's sitting here trying to go against a court order to hire a police chief. Oh, my God.
Freeman's response to the step 3 process was, this is an issue on the trustees that they do not vote for the bills at from the Warren list at the board meetings.
Trustees.
The newest issue is work comp.
She was
In the
blaming
past,
them
we've had
then.
multiple issues with work comp to where members have been hurt on the line of duty and their claims have not been filed properly, which led to multiple members being sent to collections. I know that the police department.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Did you all hear that?
Now, I want you all, this is my reaction I did 7 months ago. 7 months ago. That was my reaction 7 months ago. And the excuses that Super Stupid offered then are the same dumbass excuses she's still uttering now out of her chicken mouth. This Ewok is still blaming the Board of Trustees for something that is her sole responsibility, which is why you should not be sitting here trying to give her a pass for any reason. Saying that, that the board shares the blame, that's what she wants you all to think and say. Because she's simply been blaming the board for 7 months on this. This was 7 months ago where the firefighters had to go in and make a statement. 7 months ago. And she's been blaming them ever since. And now you got people out here on YouTube with platforms. People are listening to you. And you're saying the same things that she wants you to say that. She wants you to say, yeah, it's not just my fault. It also comes down to the board of trustees. But you can't say how. But here's proof now that she's been blaming the board of trustees, and the firefighters sitting here saying it's not their fault. That's not even what they do. That's not how the process works. Now you see how you get evidence and documentation to show based on who plays what role, why it can't be the board of trustees' fault every single damn time. Even the firefighters are saying it's not their fault. They just blaming it on the board. That's not the role that they play. But yet and still, you got these goons out here still trying to apologize. But what about this? What about isms? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? It's laughable. It's almost just a mockery to the situation at hand that's being ignored because you're too busy trying to throw out whataboutisms to try to throw super stupid a bone when you have the union leader of the fire department saying it's not the board of trustees' fault. So why are you doing that, you YouTuber? Miss me with that nonsense.
Question is, do we have workman's comp insurance? The Dolton Fire Department is here to serve and protect the residents of the village of Dolton, and we do this with pride. We will continue to serve despite the fact our health insurance is not being paid, our retirement funds are being taken from us, and workers' compensation claims are not being handled properly. These are serious issues, and they need to be addressed and fixed immediately.
Oh my God. So since you're
trying to be union, Dolton, I am the one that
This is her response to
I am
this.
the one that actually grew up in this town and
This is
actually
her
came
response
and
to
governed where I live at because I care so much about where I'm at. If you think about all the hatred and all the negativity,
This is her response to the
there's
firefighters.
nothing negative or hating.
This, and y'all hear me responding and saying the same thing practically. This is her response to after hearing the firefighters speak about how they don't have a retirement fund or money being taken from their retirement fund. Their insurance premiums are not being paid. You got, retaliation against union leaders for not supporting her as if they owe her that dumb shit. This is her response to this. And you all want to talk about the board of trustees sharing some blame in that? Even when the union leader of the fire department is not even buying that. He's saying it's not their fault at all. This is her response to this nonsense.
$50,000 for all this scrutiny that you guys put me under. I make $50K. So that means somebody really gotta love what they do for it.
Yeah, I was irritated.
I love what I do and I want to see Dolton grow. And
What does her tax statement say?
tell me what to do. I'm the leader. I am not in their seats any longer. I was in their seats for
FBI
8 years.
gonna eat this
I
up.
win every single term that I run
She's still
for.
saying the
every
same
single
stuff.
term.
The
last
FBI is
seat,
gonna
which
eat
is the
this
mayor
up.
seat that I just won by 82%. I will win my next term,
All right.
and just stay tuned to that because
The
this
FBI
little
is
crowd
eating
that
this
comes
up.
here and try to keep up mess and kick up dust for clickbait for the news or for just to get a moment and say, hey girl, I was on the news. That's so beneath us. You have to grow, guys, and you have to show people
What
that
about the
you are
firefighters
growing
again?
and that we should be looking to
Yeah,
you for direction. We
FBI
can't look
is
to
eating
you
this
for
up.
direction because you're so messy. I just want people to see.
Never mind the FBI,
Y'all,
the firefighters that had legitimate concerns they brought there though. This is how she responds to this, and you all want to throw about whataboutisms. Yeah, I'm looking at my reaction video to this because I can't believe how she's still saying the same dumb shit all over again, over and over again. Same old nonsense she's been uttering for at least 7 months, and I've been covering her for over a year. So this was her response after the firefighters got up there and made a passionate statement about their premiums not going towards nationwide insurance, their retirement funds not being covered, money's been taken out. That's basically theft of wages. He didn't insinuate anything. He can prove it with paycheck stubs. Get evidence from Nationwide to show no payments are going to them. Get evidence to show that their retirement funds is not going to the insurance company or whoever holds their retirement plan, but it's coming out of their paycheck. You don't think they will have a good time proving that in court? Seriously. I have been saying for 7 months they should have filed a federal lawsuit against her. Because now you have the same thing happening with the life insurance premiums. This is why I've been advocating for a federal lawsuit from the fire department. And this is something that they haven't just started dealing with 7 months ago. No. That goes back to 2020. Goes back to 2020. They have at least 4 or 5 good years of history they can take to court and just tear her ass up with in court and get that judgment out of her directly. Meaning, if you got to take her whole paycheck for many, many years to come, whatever she doesn't do, goes out and work after this, because she's not going to win that mayor position. Oh, no, you will not be reelected. The firefighters will remember that day they came in and told you what was going on, and that was her bullshit response. And yet you got YouTubers out here trying to throw about whataboutisms and deflect. You still want to deflect now when it comes to these firefighters? I dare you. Sit here and minuscule and ridicule what the firefighters are going through, which is the same thing now that's happening with the life insurance policy from the staff. Yeah, go ahead and find a way to try to overcut that. Firefighters that saved your life fight fires in your village. Please try to find a whataboutism you can throw up to make it seem as if it's not Tiffany's fault. Yeah, go ahead. When this is her bullshit response to it. That way I can take your video and I'm going to blast the hell out of it after I go flat off on you. Because that shit has got to end. It has to end. These whataboutisms and deflections, this is what she wants you all to do. Look how she's deflecting. You will get called out by me, and I will not give 2 shits. So keep being dumb. Throwing out these whataboutisms. You're not giving your opinion. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of fact that can be proven. She is responsible, and she should be held accountable. She has not hired a financial administrator, a director of finance. That would be considered a part of her administration. And if the board has to approve it, they would approve it if she would present someone. But it's not their job to go out, recruit, and hire. Yes, I'm being minuscule about it. Because people keep trying to blend those 2 things together that should not be blended. Because they don't want to read. Because they want her to come out looking good somehow. Why? What do you owe her? Or what does she owe you? Is she paying your bills? So you owe her nothing. Stop doing it. It's stupid at this point. These firefighters are still fighting this crap. They got a collective bargaining agreement. Now you turn around and life insurance premiums aren't getting paid. It's almost the same behavior. It's just shifting from one bucket to another bucket.
Belcher's point, at their last meeting, I did email the CPA and ask them to be present or in attendance. They responded saying that they were willing. They were actually here in the parking lot and were not allowed into the building. Thank you.
Holy Anna.
All right.
God almighty.
All right.
So when the board, as you can see, wants the CPA to show up, and that's the certified public accountant, they're not allowed in the building. Why? Because this is part of her administration now. The CPA will be a part of her administration. The finance administrator, the director of finance, they will be a part of her administration. They're not on the board of trustees. The board of trustees aren't solely responsible for hiring them. If they require board approval, all they do is give a 2/3 vote. But if you have a CPA that is a part of the administration under Super Stupid, coming to the meeting, but then not being allowed to come into the building. Why in the hell would the board of trustees, how do they have anything to do with that again? And please, let's not speak in code and Ewok language. I don't understand that. Speak English. Make it make sense. That CPA is not a board of trustee. Nothing to do with the board. Why would they want to keep out the CPA again? I mean, literally, they could have just, if they wanted to, they could have just called her in now. They could have said, come on to the meeting. The building's open. What would Super Stupid have done other than try to have her escorted back out? But this is the thing. If they're reaching out, and you got emails that have been proven to show Super Stupid telling them not to release budget reports or to share information with the board or to not undermine her in meetings when it comes to numbers that she's lying about, or to just flat out fudge them. How are you all overlooking that evidence? Because that's what she says in writing to other people. And this is in emails. Don't you think the FBI is also going to take that as evidence? So why in the hell is a YouTuber or two out here running around talking about, well, that's not all her fault? Well, okay, tell that to the FBI. They should find that laughable. That'll be funny to them. They can be like, oh, that dumb YouTuber. They find that hilarious when there's evidence to show that she actually wanted people to fudge numbers and not share financial information, or to try to keep the CPA a hidden secret. People in her administration now, that the board is like, are you going to come to this meeting? Being locked out of a building and told to not come, or, she's sitting in the parking lot and couldn't get in the building.
He spent on their retirement and health care benefits. NBC5's Regina Waldrop spoke with one firefighter in Dolton who's now demanding answers.
The ongoing saga in Dolton now spilling over into the fire department.
Or when the mayor first started to run in 2021, we did endorse her, and then everything went sideways.
Adam Farrick has been a firefighter in the village for 10 years. He's also a union rep for Local 3766.
We have a ton of concerns.
Most revolve around financial issues. These are some of the grievances the union has filed against the village. Farrick claims many of the village's 21 firefighters don't want to speak out for fear of retaliation.
And there's always that scare of retaliation of what's going to happen if we don't beat to their drum.
Farrick claims money taken out of their checks for a retirement plan not going where it should.
I pick the amount that I would like with taken out of my check, and then that money is supposed to go to Nationwide. It has not been happening.
He also claims firefighters are having issues with health insurance, which the village pays for. These are some of the documents shared with NBC5 that say premiums have not been received.
Members are getting claims
now it's
denied,
life insurance,
and we did file agreements over that as well.
Trustee Brittany Norwood tells us these issues are very concerning.
It's very sad.
Here, the thing is, like I said, you get to the point where you it's not just speaking out. It's the retaliation that comes with it, the backlash and the wave of ignorance, where people who don't even understand how insurance premiums work or how collective bargaining agreements work come back and to try to ostracize and retaliate against a firefighter who just wants their money being taken out of their check to go where the hell it's supposed to go. And mind you all, once upon a time, Super Stupid had her hairstylist invoices coming through being paid with tax dollars. That's not a whataboutism. That's a fact. That happened. Now she wants to make it seem like she pays it out. She probably does now because she got caught. But yet, her hairstylist was being paid with tax dollars. It was showing up on the warrant list. How is that the trustees' fault again? Y'all can't keep blaming the trustees for everything that is solely the fault of Super Stupid and her incompetence. And I keep saying Super Stupid keeps dumb people around her. Yeah, all the people she has around her between, her attorneys being incompetent. Solomon is just one walking void. Your name is being uttered in the halls of Cook County Courthouse. It's Max Solomon. You would think you would stop doing this dumb stuff you're doing because word is spreading about you. Don't ask me how I know it is. Judges talk too. And they definitely know when an attorney is coming there to just showboat and grandstand and sit here and file documents incorrectly or pleadings and motions incorrectly or to just the wrong court. That's not being done in good faith. And it's done repeatedly over and over and over again. Do you really think you have a lawsuit when your client jumped into a fight on her own accord with a microphone used as a weapon? You're out of your damn mind. And another judge is going to remind you of that. You're already on the line of being sanctioned. You were severely reprimanded. You're going to make that worse for yourself. And if you don't care, neither do I. And I'm just going to clown you out for it. I'm not going to give two shits. Because obviously you don't. Bo Brindley, you're up next. This is what you all's client is doing here. And now you have an issue with life insurance premiums not being paid. This is after she failed to bully and ostracize the firefighters. You really think that the world is going to show her any sympathy of any sort when she's treating firefighters like shit? Are you kidding? So now that we have this dumb cycle of buffoonery repeating itself, with insurance premiums becoming an issue once again, you're going to have to explain to me how is it that it's somehow the trustee's fault when they're not her administration. They're the legislative branch of this local municipality. She is doing this on her own. No one put a gun to her head and told her to take money out of the insurance premiums away from firefighters and staff that need policies paid for. Between health, life insurance, retirement funds, no one's forcing her to do that. That's something she's choosing to do. So when the trustees tried to recall her, there was a technical issue regarding, first of all, they should have had an attorney to give them the advice on how to do it step by step. There was a 2-vote process that was supposed to occur. Only one vote occurred. The other one did not. She didn't win anything. And even the court order, if you read the court documents, the judge expresses that. Had this been done correctly by law, she would have been recalled. She can say whatever the hell she wants. Let her continue to think that court transcripts don't exist, though. And then sit here and lie about what's said in court. Yeah, keep on, Super Stupid. You little dum-dum. Keep lying about what was said and not said in court when court transcripts are a thing that can easily be foyered and accessed. But the judge even stated in the order, had this been done the right way, which is unfortunate that it wasn't, and they needed an attorney to actually advise them on how to go about doing this the right way, that recall would have succeeded. So all that dumb shit she keeps talking about is fluff. And a court transcript could easily debunk it. Why do people still believe stuff that come out of Super Stupid's mouth? I don't understand. Why are there YouTubers sitting here talking about whataboutisms? I don't know. Nor do I care. I'm just going to start calling you out. Because what you're not going to do is be a disservice. You're being a disservice by sitting here saying, well, what about this? Well, it's just not, everybody gets the blame. No, they don't. Put the blame where it belongs. Stop trying to help her dodge accountability. It's pathetic. She wants the power to be mayor, then she takes the responsibility. And when things go wrong, she should be held accountable. It's as simple as that. Your boss would not agree with you saying that if you were working and then you do something wrong on your job, and then all of a sudden you're sitting here talking about, well, it's not just my fault. It's also my manager's fault. It's their fault for hiring me. It's everybody else's fault. Who knew that blame could be taken all around for my dumb actions? That's what it sounds like to me when I hear these YouTubers say that nonsense. So go to work and go make a mistake at work and see how well that goes. And then record how that plays out. And I dare you to tell your manager, it's your manager's fault. It's your fault for hiring me. You share the blame as well. Let's see how that works. Let's see you try to sit here and to bring others into your issues and your problems that you create, where it's all your fault, but you want to blame someone else. Please put that on your YouTube channels and record that. I would love to see how that plays out. Go to work, go make a mistake, and a big mistake, one involving money. I dare you to tell your boss it's their fault too. Go ahead. I would love to see that play out. See how fast you get fired. Stop doing all this nonsense with the whataboutisms. It's getting tired and old and played out. It's dumb. The deflections, we get enough of it from her. We hear enough of the deflecting from Super Stupid. We don't need to hear it from YouTubers that can't seem to, I don't know. You've lost your minds as well. I mean, just go all the way there. If you've lost your mind, just go all the way there. Wherever her mind is, go with it. Oh, dear Lord. And the audacity for anyone to think that here in the United States of America, someone has sole power to do something. Nope. No, she doesn't. Why would you give her that level of authority? Why would you want her to have that type of power? How much is she paying you? I'm questioning those who continue to say this nonsense. Are you getting some kickback from it because it's aggravating? You're not even supporting any of this nonsense you're saying with facts. Oh, it's still her fault. You're looking at dirt and saying, well, that's her and the Board of Trustees' fault for that dirt. What are you talking about? Many of these things are unrelated. But yet, no, let's keep on coming up with dumb stuff to sit here and deflect all these whataboutisms that still make no sense. It's Super Stupid's fault, then, for not having a finance administrator or director of finance position fulfilled in her administration and going through the proper channels if it requires a board's approval to get the board to approve for those positions to be filled. It is her fault. The board cannot hire those positions for her. She has to do it. You see how that goes? See, understanding her role and their role helps you understand who takes the blame. Stop being dumb. No one owes her any level of deflection. You don't owe her that whataboutism you keep throwing out that still has no logic to it. No one owes her that. And the more people continue down this path of trying to deflect and throw out these whataboutisms to take up for her, to try to defend her somehow, the less accountable she's held and the more empowered and emboldened she is to still keep doing the dumb shit that she does. It's shameful. So when you start getting called out, now you know why. Because I'm going to do that. And I do tag the FBI in all my videos. Hopefully you get questioned. Or you learn how to calm down and stop saying dumb shit that makes no sense. That pattern is getting exhausting to keep doing that. You can clearly, even if you have a difference of opinion, come with some facts to show how. And then, yes, make that connection. Here's evidence where the board should have done this, and this is a part of their role, and this is part of the municipal code. Here's what the court ordered. Here's what's in the court order for both parties to do. Neither did it. That's one argument you can make where it's a logical point to be made. But when you're just saying, see, that this money was spent here and this didn't happen, so it's all their fault. No, that's not how that goes. Because if you were in a court of law, a judge would not want to hear that shit, and I'm trying to tell you the nice way. A judge would not buy that. So think about it in that terms. Imagine you're saying this to a judge. Make things make sense as if you're in a court of law. Because at this point, it's the only place she's going to end up. Is where she's going to land. In a court of law and then in jail. All right. I'm done. I'm at an hour. I'm going to do a live later on. You guys continue to stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Challenge these YouTubers running around here talking about whataboutisms and deflecting and all this stuff. Keep challenging them. They can only block your comments but for so long. At some point, I'm going to call them out on it. And then it's going to get challenged because it's being reckless. You're being reckless with your platform and the people that listen to you. You're giving them information and twisting up nonsense and blending things together that not even a municipal code supports. It's reckless. It's no different than spreading misinformation. You can have a difference of opinion. There are times where I've questioned, I still would like to know what Jason's plan is to get Dolton out of this deficit. Because both things are true. He's going to be the next mayor, and there is a deficit. What is his plan to get them out of the deficit? By millions of dollars. I would love to know that. That's not an attack, it's a question. There's a difference. I want him to post it up on his website. Here's my financial plan on how we're going to get out of this damn deficit that Dum created. Because she was handed a surplus. That is factually based. But yet it's still, these whataboutisms somehow has deterred people from doing math. Because math. It's math. Unbelievable. She was handed a surplus in Dolton. Good grief. So, how is Jason going to get this deficit up? That's a solid, valid question. And I would love an answer, and I would love to see the plan with some numbers. A realistic plan. That's not attacking me. I hope he wins. I hope he does. It's not an attack. It's a question that he needs to answer. Period. See, there's a difference in that. I'm not blending him over with super stupid. She's already failed. She's out the door. And act as if you're not going to leave that building if you want to, little girl. You will be physically carried out. And there's nothing that Keith McFatfuck or Michael A. Smith, who still knows nothing, can do to spare you from that. You will be carried out that damn door. And it will be epic. And that will be the end of that. So pretend like you want to sit here and continue to live in this alternate reality where your mind is. Let your physical body still be sitting up in that building when it's time for Jason House to go in. You will be physically removed. Don't play with it. That's not a threat. That's exactly what's going to happen. And the law allows it. And I'm going to let you read it. Once you get past reading 2 and 3 syllable words, then you can read the municipal codes on how they can physically carry your black ass out that damn building. All right. I'm done. Lady Luck out. Peace.